Alright, so besides quadratics on this test, you're going to find transformations. So a few reminders. Adding and subtracting are shifts. If you're adding or subtracting on the inside, you're shifting left and right. If you're adding and subtracting on the outside, you're shifting up and down. So first I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this in the order that makes more sense, because we're adding 4 out front. I'm going to put it behind so it looks better, because this negative belongs to f of x, and I don't want us to confuse that with the 4 out front. So first thing we need to do is work from the inside and work our way out. So the first transformation, I see we have a -1 on the inside. So we want to think opposite of that. Opposite of subtracting 1 is adding 1, which will take us to the right. So we're going to have a horizontal shift to the right 1. So that's the first thing I'm going to want to do. Let's take this graph right 1. Then there's nothing else going on the inside, so I work our way out and I see that there's this minus on the outside. Well, it's on the outside, so it's going to be vertical. And negatives applied on y or x cause a reflection. And if I'm going to reflect y, I'm going to end up going about the x-axis. I'm going to use a different color for this one, so not to confuse it with the blue. So +2 will go to -2, -2 will go to +2. So now I'm looking at this graph. So finally I need to deal with that outside +4, so it's outside, so it will be a vertical thing. And it's a plus, so it's going to be a shift. And we do exactly what it says on the outside, so +4 means we're going up 4. So we're going to take this last one we did, the red one, go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And since it's our final destination, we will make it solid. Alright, so the first thing we want to think about is where this would have started. So we kind of need to know the original graph. I would pay more attention to focusing on recognizing where the absolute value one is. Hint, hint. But this was just an example from the notes. So the first thing we would have done is shifted to the right, because that's the first step. So we want to follow, for this one, we follow this little inflection point around. So we get here. And then we notice that this one is flipped over. So the next thing they would have done is reflected over the x-axis and gone here. So that first thing we went right to would have done x -2 on the inside. And then the reflection, since it's over the x-axis, that means we're negating the y values, so there'd be a negative on the outside. Finally, we see that this was shifted up 1. So we end up adding that 1 on the outside. So we get g of x is negative x -2 cubed plus 1.